We are officially back. It's been a while. Like, let's see, last date was 3rd October, so that's been 21 days, which is way too long, 3 weeks. I had some family coming over. I've been quite busy with new clients, but then again, there's no excuse for not uploading consistently if that's what I'm trying to do here. Upload consistently. However, that being said, yeah, it's very good to kind of go back to this because after a while, actually, after I don't film a video like this for 2 3 weeks, I actually come with some more ideas and then like, hey, I just need to write this down and actually film it. So I kind of have this journaling thing. That's why I started as well. Just journaling thing going on. So it's also very, again, very interesting for myself to do this because I can look back and it's good to say the things out loud there in my head. But yeah, that being said, few exciting things coming up. So one of the main things that we're now doing is that we're building a funnel and we're going to run this. Is websites typically has been always people pay for development. So I would say high cost up front, and then you pay a little bit hosting and support after people are done with the website. So I usually charge around $50 to $100 per month for hosting and support. Depends very much how much people want and how big your website is. But what we're doing now is flipping the script because we want to offer something more special to people and trying to see how we can grow this. So we'll do no upfront cost and actually go higher on the subscription side, like just the monthly payment side, because we already charge for hosting, we already do support, and we have a lot of things we can offer in the subscription that we'll do. I'll make probably a separate video about what we're going to offer within that package, but I don't want to do this in this video. So it's quite interesting that to see how we could actually package that subscription and see how many, for example, maybe have 3 different tiers on it. So we kind of want to flip the script a little bit and try to say, because it is a free website that we're giving, so we'll say you get a free website and we pay for subscription, but then there's a lot in the subscription included. So it definitely is like a no-brain offer and a good offer. We just have to kind of see how and what we're gonna do, and in terms of closing people, how they react to the what prices, what packages we can offer. This is very interesting. So really like actually making long days lately, and it's been fun. Usually sometimes when I come home I also like don't feel like working after like coming home from 5, working like 10 hours at the office, and then I come home and like, yeah, but now I'm like, hey, I want to keep working on this funnel. So it's super fun, and even more fun is building a team. So as you know, I have one main, the first contract I would say I hired on like on a subscription or something like a retainer. He's been doing video editing and framer building. I'm kind of teaching him how to do framer more and more, and it's going pretty well. But now we're building a team where he's kind of like the head, and he's going to manage more people under him. So everything I teach him, he can teach more people. And like we're making structures. We're not there yet, but we want to make like SOPs, documents, so people can really understand our workflow. Because he knows my workflow because I've been having daily calls with him for 2 3 months now. So we're pretty tight there. But if we hire new people, we don't want to repeat the whole process. We just want to make it clear and easy. So I can actually just write this because it's interesting for me. SOPs is going to be interesting, and workflow, and then of course SOPs are workflow. So yeah, I talked about this, so that's not so much more interesting, but it's super super cool to get this going because now we have 2 more people we are onboarding. We're going to start with them doing like a hourly rate only in the first 2 3 weeks and see how they perform. But the interesting thing is that we have one guy who's then doing editing and framer websites, and one guy who's going to do graphic design and framer. So we have everything in place to kind of scale with websites now, so which is super cool, because I've always wanted to kind of be more like a manager of a team and kind of like have the overview perspective. And it's so cheesy, but it's so interesting to talk about it. Is that you can work on your business, not in rewind. No, you can work on your business, not in. So it's an amazing feeling that me and my editor, his name's Emson, he's gonna edit this video right now, where I have a meeting in the morning and then I do stuff throughout the day. And then, for example, we have a meeting the next day, and then he built like a website that we discussed a few days before, and then we just go over what's happening. And before I would have done the website myself the whole day, and then I didn't get to do the other things. And now it just things just happen. It's just super cool to see. It's so natural and like, and of course, when you hire someone, he can do work. But if you are so much in the business and working every day and try to grind out, and then suddenly pieces of that happen automatically because we pay him and he does the work, so it does not automatically out of nowhere come. But it's so interesting to see, and it definitely, you can see like my vision starts going like, man, if we have like more people and we have a good workflow, clients can just come. So that's literally the only thing right now. We don't have like a consistent lead flow because we haven't even started running ads, but we're building out the whole funnel right now. And we believe this should be not easy, because nothing is easy and nothing is as easy as it is be. But man, it's so realistic and so feasible and so doable. So yeah. Um, moving on, because man, I keep yapping already. I definitely, now that I said even I was not filming and I was not doing so much content, I definitely also can relate that back to, you suddenly fall out of reading your Bible daily and try and be very consistent there. And it happens so quick. Like you're good for a few weeks, and then suddenly, like I said, the wedding comes up, family comes over, and you're just out of the flow. And then now 2 weeks later, the flow is already gone. It's so crazy how fast that goes. Um, that being said, this is kind of the two things that I want to talk about on this point. So I can kind of put this a little bit down, put this a little bit like this. I'll structure this better for future videos. Um, I've started doing a Bible study, which is super cool. It's actually one guy who started it, who I know, who I've been following on Twitter, and I know is very successful in business. He posted that on Twitter, and I was like, why not join? So it was kind of like not out of nowhere, but definitely happened after the Charlie Kirk thing. And then I was like, let me just join, like let me try to do more stuff. And it was, as you can see, it's my 2 p.m. So it's very an annoying time for me because you're middle of the work. But this more was a thing like, hey, let's actually set aside time for God. While it doesn't make sense anyway, because what makes sense at 2 p.m. is to work and get your work done and not take an hour, because usually these are hours, always an hour long. It makes sense to work and not spend an hour on a Bible study. But the most interesting thing is, I joined. I cannot zoom in a little bit, but I joined not this week, but I joined around here this week. I don't remember which day, but I joined around like one of these days, and I was very consistent this week. I think I attended all of them. In the next week I did. Now again with the wedding, I've not been super good, but now this week I've been attending more again. So since that time I started attending, things also have just fallen in place. I would say this week has been the best week ever in business. It's it's even crazy now. I look at the calendar and talk about it, because with the American agency, we've been signing clients. We've been doing super good. Referrals come in. The clients we do are super interesting. I rented the office, and suddenly people take contact with me and ask, "Can I get a website?" So yeah, it's super interesting to see how that works, because you can think it's so back forward thinking to say like, okay, I have to be productive. I can't waste time on waste time. My dog is going crazy. Had to continue here because my dog started barking because my wife came home. So I just wanted to go down, finish the video, not to waste any more time. But yeah, so it's very cool to see that God will reward you putting Him first, and it's the most obvious thing because it says in the Bible. Because I feel it's so hard to do, and for me, doing something very practical like this is the easiest way. Also for me to say, okay, how can I actually do this? So then, and I've skipped many times, like the next 2 weeks, like I said, because family, and then also because I've then after the family was gone, that week is like catching up with work week, and then you're like, oh, I can't right now. So it actually happens that you're like forgetting to prioritize because you're like, I just have to do it. So yeah, it's very interesting to see because you have to just be consistent there as well. And I've been loving the Bible studies just in itself as well because I grew up Christian and I've read my Bible so much, but here we're kind of sitting down and analyzing it. So we read like the Gospels, one like a paragraph, depends how long, not super long, and then we discuss it. And then he is like a Bible plan or like a daily devotional of a guy. It's like a Bible quote, one verse, and then like quite a long paragraph about that verse, and then we discuss that. So we discussed both these things, and the amount of times I've been reading stuff that I've read so many times before, but then you just start discussing, and then me myself, I start like linking it to other Bible verses and other stories, and it's just interesting to see because to be honest, I've sat down at youth camps and discussed it, but not in this level. So it's very different, and they're like also all business guys, so they're all Christian business guys. So it also comes back often to that level, which is just overall super interesting. I actually have the link here, so I'll put that in the YouTube video in the description, so you can actually join because he's very much open to. He says like that's why the link is here in school. Just join, and then the more the merrier, so there's quite a consistent group of people showing up every day. Very cool. And then he actually recommended this book, so that's what I'm reading now. So it's Business for the Glory of God, and the whole point is actually that having a business is quite good in a way. Like you can actually glorify God. I've not read it, so I can't see the whole book, but it's just like the goods in business from a Christian perspective. So that was super cool, super interesting, and I'll keep you guys updated on when I'm finished. So yeah, very cool, very productive, very successful past few weeks. So that's why it was very nice to do a new video, and let's be consistent, baby, because it's all about consistency.